What a World Cup we are having as Germany crashed out of the World Cup second time in a row after defeating Costa Rica 4-2. But Japan were too superior for Spain. Man, what even we are talking? Japan out of the World Cup. What a terrible start for them. Aniket, welcome to the Forza Pasa podcast. I'm your host Shubham. And Aniket, over to you. What's happening with Germany?
Well, a terrible consecutive World Cup for Germany, to be honest. After winning back in 2014, the 2018 World Cup for Germany was not good as well because they were knocked out before the Group 16 level in that one as well. So, an overall haul is required for the German team actually. So, let's
Yeah,
see when would they be able to make the international comeback. To
yeah.
be
I mean,
honest,
it
the
was like
team.
in 2018, as you mentioned, it was so terrible situation, and if I remember correctly, it was the first time in their history that they did not qualify onto or out of the group stage. So you
Yeah.
talk about how crucial that moment was negatively, and as you are mentioning about the overhaul, we believe that Germany did that overhaul by changing the coach, by changing the ideas. Too many players retired. Tony Kroos retired, and Özil was not there, and there's a new team, new blood, Hansi Flick. But again, we are
Mm.
really at the same stop.
Yeah, to be honest, their team looks good on paper. If you see their team, they have Thomas Müller, they have Sane, they have Gundogan, they have Goretzka. Their goalkeeper Manuel Neuer is one of the best. So, to be honest, the team on paper really looks good, but I am not sure what's happening inside the German dressing room right now.
Yeah. After 2018, as mentioning Joachim Löw, the legendary manager who coached Germany for years and years and won the majestic World Cup against Argentina in 2014. Uh, Hansi Flick, who was doing marvels at Bayern, won a treble and all those brilliant goals against Barca. Unfortunately, in that 8-2 win over Barcelona. We have been through that, and Hansi Flick was brought on by the German national team to make this overhaul, which you actually mentioned. And apparently, he likes this 4-2-3-1 formation, which was a dominant formation that Germany played in this World Cup, which was quite successful at Bayern. But and then you see, as you mentioned, you were giving a bit of overview of the players which played for Germany in this World Cup. Most of the players that you mentioned are actually coming directly from Bayern Munich. So same style, similar players, like more than half players are coming from Bayern. Then what exactly changed? That this is the question that we or as fans we have to ask. And I believe, in my opinion, it's the that big number nine, Lewandowski, Robert Lewandowski, is not there anymore. And
Yeah.
this Mueller, he's a great player. Of course, he, as a Barcelona fan, I'm not a fan of Mueller. All those humiliations we have faced, I wouldn't want to, praise him. But he's a great player, one of his kind. But he's simply not a number nine position, especially in Hansi Flick's formation of 4-2-3-1. And also, I believe Sule is not that great of a centre back. A good World Cup from Raum, who started as a left back in most of the games. But
Yep.
again, a problem which I face for Germany is they don't have a solid playing 11. Every time, like there's few positions, like you talk about Musiala, great talent, amazing talent. Of course, there are some comparisons going on with Gavi and Pedri, but I wouldn't want to go there. Great talent. Uh, of course, there are some players like Rudiger who maintains his position. Kimmich is one of those players who has maintained his positions. But again, sometimes he plays as a CDM, sometimes he comes back as an RB. Neuer, of course, maintains his position. But apart from that, you will see so many changes, even in this World Cup. So I think when you're going out to win a tournament, first thing first is you need to have a playing 11, a solid playing 11. And the changes are like one by one in few positions, not like a complete overall in games. So
So Shubham, I want to interrupt you here a little bit and ask you one important question about the German team. As you said, that there are some players who retain their position, and one of the names in that list is Manuel Neuer. But in those recent games, what we have seen of Neuer is a little bit disturbing fact for me. Like, he is conceding too many goals on rebounds. So, do you think that Marc-Andre ter Stegen should be given a chance, or should have been given a chance instead of Manuel Neuer? Your thoughts on that?
To be honest, I believe so. Because old ideas are simply old ideas. I'm not here to say that Neuer is past his prime. Of course, he's past his prime, by the way, because his prime was beyond everyone's imagination. So, of
True.
course, Neuer cannot, have his prime every single season.
Yeah.
But in reality, you mentioned exactly what I was feeling. I think the first goal against Japan was a rebound, and then
Yeah.
both of the goals, which were scored by Costa Rica in that 4-2 win of Germany or Costa Rica, both of the goals actually were rebounds. So, uh, you know, I understand that he's a legend, but sometimes you need to give chances to players who are there. Like Marca
Mm.
de Ter Stegen has had a wonderful season for Barcelona, especially in La Liga. He has like considered, I think, two or three goals. No, I think four goals, one against Real Sociedad and three against Real Madrid. That's it.
Yeah.
So, you
Yeah.
need to give chances to players who are in form when you're talking about
Mm.
tournaments. So I believe in the next, I don't know, like Euros probably, which will be played in 2024. Uh, I think Marc-Andre ter Stegen deserves to get his chance because otherwise
Mm.
he's still, I think he's currently 30 years of age, and then he has like last 5-6 years at this prime. So if not, then it's also a problem for Germany because once Neuer reaches that level, of age of 39, 40, 37, I think he's 36 or 37 as of now. So and then if they don't give chances to Marc-Andre ter Stegen, like for next 2-3 years, then Marc-Andre ter Stegen will be at the level of retiring, and then they
Yeah.
have, because I think the third goalkeeper that they have is Kevin Trapp, which plays for Eintracht Frankfurt. He's also 32 years of age. So then there is a problem. Then there is a mass reshuffle, and then there is a big void to fill. So there should be a
Mm.
smooth transition.
Mm.
So yeah, I agree that there should be a chance for Marc-Andre ter Stegen.
Yeah, true. I agree with whatever you said. Especially the transition. It has always been a difficult phase for whatever team you name. The transition is one of the most difficult phases for a team to undergo. But moving on for the next proceedings in the World Cup, Asian teams in this World Cup were amazing, quite amazing to be honest. Like, no one ever imagined that Japan would be on top of that group. Second thing, South Korea qualifying the stage of the World Cup is one of uh, some interesting or mind-bugging thing, I would say. Uh, yeah, man, South Korea and Japan. No one would have even thought. In the list, I was just going through. So this important fact in the list, I think it was. I'm not going to specify the name, but one of the football pundits, he mentioned that his winning team would be Denmark, and Denmark did not even qualify for the round of 16s. So it has been a World Cup full of surprises and really interesting World Cup going on in here in Qatar this year.
Yeah,
What one important setback I have to mention here is Belgium. I mean, in that group, I would not have even imagined that Belgium would have uh, would would not qualify for the next stage. And man, that was amazing. That was something mind blowing for me as well. This World Cup, it is giving us some kind of chills. It has lots and lots of surprises to uncover. Let's see how does this World Cup proceed.
yeah, indeed, quite a setback for Belgium as they got knocked out as they drew in their last must-win game against Croatia.
Yeah.
And also Morocco beat Canada, meaning Morocco tops the group. So another surprise, a big surprise. What a World Cup! Wow! I mean, Morocco. With all due respect, they have brilliant footballers.
Yeah.
Hakimi as a right back and Ziyech, top footballers. But when you talk about a team, you don't expect Morocco to top the group when you have
Yeah.
Croatia and
Yeah.
Belgium. So
In the
uh,
same group with them.
yeah, Belgium crashing is so surprising. And just to continue with your point, as filled with stars. You talk about every single position. Of course, they are getting a bit old, at some positions, but they
Yeah.
have like world beaters. You talk about Lukaku, you talk about Kevin De Bruyne, you talk about the brilliant goalkeeper who is like the best goalkeeper currently in the world,
Yeah.
Courtois. And then they have,
Yeah.
of course, Eden Hazard. Of course, he's past his prime, but still, he's still Eden Hazard for Belgium. Even he's not Eden Hazard for Real Madrid now. And when you talk about great coaching of Roberto Martinez and Thierry Henry, and it's not that they, for example, when you talk about international teams, when you talk about, let's say, Germany haven't, like, all the players and the coach, they haven't spent too much time amongst each other. When you talk about, let's say, I don't know, maybe uh, US, like they have a great team on paper, but they haven't spent so much time. So you talk about chemistry. It's
Mm-hmm.
harder to bring chemistry. But why
Mm-hmm.
France has been really successful? Because they have a steady coaching style for years. They have like same players which are coming, playing with each other, so they know each other's style. So Belgium,
Mm-hmm.
I will put in the same bracket. Coaching for like a steady amount of 5-6 years going on, had a great success in last World Cup. They finished third, and now uh, crashed out. Roberto
Yeah.
Martinez, I think, reportedly have resigned. So it would be seen what comes after this for Belgium.
Yeah. As you're talking about Belgium, I could also remember of one team where I'm residing right now is Canada. A really disappointing, disheartening World Cup for Canada, as they did not even manage to score a single point in this World Cup year. Well, as you said, like these teams, USA and Canada, they were the teams with least amount of experience in the top level, I would say, as the World Cup is. So it was a quite good learning experience for Canadian team this year. Next year, not next year, like after 4 years in the next version of the World Cup 2026, it is to be held in Canada, USA, and Mexico. So let's hope that the Canadian team would be trained, and this experience, this learning curve of the Canadian team would help them get to the qualification stage in the next version of World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, Canada, they played beautifully. Aniket,
Yeah.
they were really fast. The flashing football. But unfortunately, as you mentioned, they don't just seem to be ready at this level. So
Mm.
maybe some experience. They still have 4 years till the next
Yep.
World Cup, as you mentioned, and home advantage. I just hope that Canada can bring their A game and keep this mentality of playing a beautiful, flashy, fast game, and then the football would be beautiful. Next version of the World Cup.
Yeah. So next match would be Japan will meet Croatia in the round of 16, and Morocco will be meeting Spain. So I wonder how many upsets are going to be in this one as well, in this picture of the tournament.
Yeah,
So time will
yeah,
uncover,
yeah,
but that is going to be one of the interesting fixtures.
yeah. Spain looks favorite, but you never know.
Yeah.
The, we
Yeah.
the predictions are like the hardest possible. It's even harder than predicting Xavi's 11.
Well, for
So
me, Germany and Belgium were also the winners. So I
yeah,
don't know.
indeed. But talking about winners, Argentina make a great comeback after losing to Saudi Arabia in their first fixture of the World Cup. They beat Mexico in a must-win game, and then Poland in another must-win game. And Messi came up with a brilliant out of the box shot against Mexico as he started scoring against Mexico, and you know, literally pulled Argentina back on track in this World Cup. And then the
Yeah.
second goal
Yeah.
against Mexico was even more brilliant. I mean, I wouldn't say even more brilliant than Messi's, but it was beautiful thing to watch. Messi assisted Enzo Fernandez, but again, this assist has no comparison when you compare his goal. What a brilliant strike! What a brilliant play he is! And then in the second game against Poland, Messi unfortunately has his uh, penalty missed out once again, or saved once again in
Mm.
this World Cup. In the second time, it was the second time he did that. But he, in spite of missing a penalty, he had a brilliant game against Poland, and they meet Australia yesterday in the round
Mm.
of 16, and it was a tough game apparently because Messi's in the post match conference he mentioned that they were really tired because they did not have enough time between their last and the previous. I mean, the game against Australia and the game against Poland. But again, the little master started the scoring with a brilliant strike, and then they won 2-1 in against Australia. So they are already in the quarterfinals, and they will face the Netherlands in the quarterfinals.
Continuing with the Netherlands, they beat USA 3-1 with brilliant goals from Depay, Blind, and Dumfries. The Dutch were looking extremely superior in soaking the pressure, like off the counter attack. You know the typical American football. It's a fast-paced football. Main game is on the wings, but Netherlands were quite comfortable in soaking that pressure out, defending their wins, and America really looked clueless as of what is going on with this Dutch team over here,
Yeah.
and were all surprised when the Dutch team caught their tactics.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I agree with you. As they really look clueless on the wings, and the difference that I was really impressed. I was really impressed when USA played that 0-0
Mm.
game against England, because
Yeah.
that was that when you let's say come on this stage as big as World Cup, you need to announce yourself that you are there.
Mm.
And I believe USA announced themselves in that game. They played
Yep.
brilliantly, and in that game, USA was even favorites to win that game. So it was an unfortunate event for the Americans that they drew. So,
Yeah.
but the difference between that game and this game was, I think, mentality. Because in that game, Americans knew that the oppositions need to be respected because they are English. They're England,
Mm.
so they
Mm.
respected them. They they had all the strategy according to this is a great opposition, we need to respect them, but we would counter them when we have an opportunity. But in
Mm.
this one,
Mm.
they were really out, and they were really trying. uh, I felt that they were just inexperienced. They didn't
True.
respect, Netherlands that much. Maybe they had a different, maybe they were way too positive, way too ambitious. But I feel the Dutch were really mature. They soaked all the pressure, as you mentioned, and then on the counter attack, when they released those wings, Americans were just clueless, as you just
Yep.
mentioned. So I completely
Yep.
agree with you.
In the next fixture, France beat Poland 3-1 with a magical and m- magisterial goals from Mbappe, brace actually, to be honest, and one incredible goal from Giroud. One of his goals was even disregarded as there was some situation in the box with the goalkeeper Chesney and I'm not sure one of the France players, but it was disregarded. It was a bicycle kick by Giroud. It would have been his brace as well because the ball went inside the box. Talking a little bit more about France versus Poland, about Mbappe's goal. The first goal was incredible, wherein he took the shot from his natural position from the left wing. He took a shot and it was goal. The second goal I want to talk about is where Dembele came in the picture with his usual run from the right wing, he cut the ball inside, dribbling two players. I thought for a second that he was going to shoot that ball, and it would have been an incredible goal from Dembele as well. But he saw Memphis just being there without any marking.
Mbappe,
So,
not Memphis.
sorry, my bad. Yeah, Mbappe just standing there without any marking. He crossed the ball to Mbappe. Mbappe actually took 2 seconds. He just took 2 seconds on the ball to think where he should shoot the ball, and then the ball went cutting throughout that defense, perfectly landing onto the back of the net. Boom! It was goal for Mbappe and France. Really interesting match. In this match, in the last minute, actually, 90 plus 5, I believe it was 90 plus 5, wherein Poland got a penalty, and Lewandowski took the penalty. The first one was saved, but then because the goalkeeper was a little bit out of the line, they had to retake the penalty. And on the second shot, he grabbed that penalty 3-1, making the score line, but of no use. The Polands were out of the game.
Yeah. But first of all, congratulations to Dembele and Koundé for qualifying to quarterfinals. Sorry,
Yeah.
and also great feat for Giroud as he becomes
Mm,
the highest goal scorer for French.
yeah.
So 52 goals, and you talk about this guy, brilliant goal scorer, brilliant player, and
Brilliant player,
kudos
yeah.
to him. And then England, another team which played today in the round of 16, they faced Senegal. England beat Senegal 3-0. Solid looking game from the Brits as Henderson started scoring, and then Kane doubled the
Mm,
scoreline just before the halftime. And Magical Saka once again on the score sheet with the third goal for England. England are looking way too comfortable now in these fixtures, and there is gonna be amazing fixture in the quarterfinal as they will meet France. So the old rivalry, the oldest possible in the Europe, and wow, as a person residing in France, I know how important this fixture is for the French. And man, I'm gonna watch that game in some bar or something in a
Oh
pub.
yeah, you
Yeah,
you
I
should,
I
you
have
should.
to. Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
insist.
No, I have to. A brilliant game because this is the time where people actually get this spirit and they come
Yeah,
out because
yeah.
because this is now the stage. It's okay. It
Mm,
was it was a brilliant stage, brilliant fixtures before, but now is the real stake which starts.
yeah.
Uh,
Everything has been set now, and from now, the real World Cup starts.
yeah, indeed. Upsetting World Cup run for Uruguay as they crash out of the group stage, as South Korea unexpectedly beat Ronaldo's Portugal. As a Barca fan, to be
Yeah,
honest, I'm really happy that Ronaldo Araujo, is coming back uninjured. He did not feature he did not start a game for Uruguay because I think as we discussed in the last episode,
yeah,
the Uruguayan Federation, Football Federation, and Barcelona board had like an agreement in place that Araujo will play in case Uruguay qualifies for the next round, so they don't. A
yeah.
heartbreak for Luis Suarez, of course, a Barca legend. It was very sad to see him in tears. Uh,
Mm.
they had a brilliant team. I don't know what happened. Their defense is brilliant. They have like Jimenez and Godin. Uh, a good goalkeeper, a brilliant midfield in Bentancur and Valverde, a great attacking, in David Nunez, Edinson Cavani, Suarez, but a very, again, very disappointing World Cup for
Well,
them as well.
again, it's a World Cup of surprises, I would say, because
Yeah,
South Korea beating Ronaldo's Portugal is again a disturbing fact for me. Like to comprehend this, that South Korea could beat Portugal is very difficult for me.
yeah.
But again, they did this. South Korea, Japan topped the group, so full of surprises. I don't know what this World Cup has in its bag. So let's see. Time will unfold.
Yeah.
In the next one, Portugal finished the top of the group and will play Switzerland because Swiss they beat Serbia 3-2 in a must-win game. Uh, well, I had a little bit of what do you say, a dilemma between choosing Swiss and Serbia, but again, the Swiss team proved themselves to be superior than the Serbians in that must-win game, 3-2, and in that group, actually, Ronaldo is quite looking very sharp as they proceed in the World Cup. Top the group. Let's see how it proceeds for Ronaldo and his Portugal.
Yeah, talking about Switzerland and this group with Brazil. Uh, First of all, just I'm very proud to announce that this was the only prediction that we made as Forza Barca podcast. We made correctly, because otherwise, we have one
Well,
correct team in every
to be
group.
to be honest, we are not the only ones
Yeah, of
who were
course.
wrong.
Of course, we have one correct team in every group, but this was the only group in which we have both the teams correct. So Switzerland and Brazil qualify out of this group. Brazil, of course, finished top of the group despite losing to Cameroon. In the last game, but they had qualified even before playing this game, so this game did not matter anything. And you gotta love Vincent Abubakar's celebration as he scored against Brazil, and
Yep.
being ecstatic even after being given a red card. He was celebrating with the referee. What a sight to watch. Brilliant. Brazil will play South Korea in round of 16, and the most, the best news for Brazilian fans, in general, football fans who love football. Neymar, who got injured in the first game, reportedly coming back for this fixture. So I don't know if he will start for Brazil in South Korea, but I don't think that he needs to start against South Korea. Brazil have superiority in every single position in this World
Yep.
Cup. I think, okay, we will make the predictions later, but I think for me this is the strongest team right now. With world class players sitting at every single positions. Man, they have two world class goalkeepers. Two world
Mhm.
class goalkeepers. Goalkeepers who start for Liverpool and Manchester City, probably the best teams in the world right now. Okay, not right now
Yep.
because Liverpool are having a slank, but you talk about England, two best teams in England, and so it's amazing. And also, um, I'm really happy, of course, about you know the Swiss, as you mentioned, because it was a very difficult game, and I'm really happy that they beat Serbians to make our one prediction right. So, moving on to the last segment of this podcast, so we will look at this bracket of World Cup games which are coming up, as we just mentioned, and there are two sides. So, Aniket will make one side to predict one side, and I'm gonna predict another side, and then we will predict eventually our winners. So, for that, I'm gonna share this the screen. So, Aniket, why don't you start first, and then I'll proceed.
Perfect. So, in this group, let's start. So, the first match to be played is Japan versus Croatia, and I believe in this group, Croatia would be the winners. The second important match would be Brazil versus South Korea, and I will predict Brazil as the winners, as you already mentioned, because of their team. It's one of the they got star playing at each and every position. So Brazil gets the point here. Next one would be Morocco versus Spain. I'm quite confident in this match that Spain would be winning this game. Well, I am confident, but I'm not sure because this World Cup has so many surprises to unfold. So let me predict Spain in this one. The next one would be Portugal versus Switzerland. As you said, that Ronaldo is looking quite shiny and quite sparky in this World Cup. So I predict Portugal to be the winners in this match. Let's go one step further between Croatia and Brazil. I think Brazil would be the winners again. and between Spain and Portugal, uh, it's a difficult call, but I would say Portugal because they are looking quite solid uh, in this edition of the World Cup, and the team which would be winning in the semi-finals, Brazil versus Portugal, would be Brazil. So
Okay.
that is what I would predict from my side. Shubham, I would like you to continue the other side.
Yeah, actually, before even going on to other side, I would also like to make one aspect or one point about Spain and Portugal. Is I agree with you that Portugal has a superiority because
Mhm.
when you talk about Brazil, as I mentioned that they have like, or even you mentioned that they have a star or they have a world class player at every single position, and the same story is with Portugal, by the way,
Yeah.
because Ronaldo being Ronaldo, of course, he's one of the best players ever who has played this game and who has graced this game. But when you talk about a team, Portugal is not just one man team. They have
Mhm.
amazing players, amazing defense. And all those players like Joao Cancelo and Diego Dallo and Ruben Diaz, so players who have been trained by Pep. When you talk about Bernardo Silva in the midfield, Bruno Fernandes,
Yeah.
Ruben Neves, even in
Yeah.
the at the attacking position, they have like as of course Ronaldo is there, but then your Felix, Rafael Leao. So they have amazing set of attack, midfield, defense, and goalkeeping. So and the problem with Spain is Spain has good goalkeeper, brilliant defense, and one of the I think the best midfield probably in this
Mhm.
World Cup Spain
Mhm.
has in Busquets, Gavi, and Pedri. But the problem with Spain is they don't have a natural goal scorer, and as we mentioned even in the previous episode, this is Spain's biggest problem. You cannot trust. I mean, I would like Spain to win this game because
Yeah.
I would like
Yeah.
half of the Barcelona players are playing rather half of the players who are starting the game for Spain are actually Barcelona players. So I would like them to win. But the problem is as a supporter or as just a neutral fan, I don't know how to trust Morata to win
Mm.
score in every single game.
Yeah.
And the problem is Luis Enrique hasn't given any chances to Ansu Fati. So he
Mm.
hasn't played. Uh,
Despite being a part of a squad, he is not a regular starter for Luis
no,
Enrique.
he
So
in my I believe he hasn't played a single minute this
yeah.
World Cup. So that's a problem because if you
Mm.
have a goal scorer as good as Ansu Fati, you need to use him, and then you
Mm.
cannot trust Nico Williams or just Asensio, um, of course Alvaro Morata, Dani Olmo. They are good players, but they're young
Mm.
players. So you cannot just trust them to win you every single game in an international tournament as big as the World Cup. So
True.
it will be a
True.
difficult game, but if you really want to put your money, I would put mine on Portugal, as Aniket mentioned.
Yeah.
And for my side, the timing of the recording has made a bit easy for me because the first round has already been qualified, so I don't have to make any predictions. But anyway, I think everything went as we might have predicted. So there was no
Yeah.
surprise on this group. Netherlands were superior to USA. On paper, they won. Argentina being superior to Australia. On paper, they won. England, same. Very comfortable win over Senegal as we just discussed. And France also quite superior. Very easy win over Poland. So a good matchup right now. No surprises as of now in this, on this branch. So as we mentioned, Netherlands and Argentina. I think it will be a very tight game because I think it will be a 1-0 win for Argentina with Messi scoring and a boring game. So I don't see that this game would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Both of the teams are very uh, I think negative in playing. So I would predict that both of the teams would be very cautious to go ahead, and then the difference would be Messi, just probably. And then in England, France, I'm afraid England because you know uh, Gareth Southgate, yeah, England manager. he has a knack of making interesting fixtures boring. Because the problem with him, and I'm really not a fan of Gareth Southgate, by the way. The problem with Gareth Southgate is he loves to defend, and he's very cautious in going forward, very cautious. And England will play a very parking the bus kind of a game with only Saka and Foden or Grealish or just spacey players running on the
Mm,
flank. Probably not Grealish because he wouldn't start, uh,
mm,
but Saka and maybe Kane, and then everyone just at the back somehow supporting the defenders. And also, I think France will be just way too strong for them, because France currently, as you mentioned, Mbappe is on fire. You know,
yeah,
like one of the best players in the world right now. And
yeah,
especially when he plays for his national team, he is something else. He is something else. So
yeah.
I think France will be stronger to the English
Not to
team.
mention, Giroud is also on fire, huh?
Indeed, yeah, indeed. And also, like, Griezmann is completely in form.
Mm,
Dembele is red hot. The defense, you talk.
mm.
The only thing French team, I think, is lacking. I wouldn't say lacking a bit, but the thing is they haven't met a good opponent as of now. So I would say the midfield is a bit untested, because you talk about
Mm.
Chouameni. He's a great player, and Kamavinga. So both of them are great players, but they're just inexperienced. So I don't know how they,
Haven't
which,
been tested yet,
yeah,
is what you are trying to say.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
perfectly
they have a
fine. Yeah,
great defense. Great defense in Varane, Kunde, Hernandez, and great goalkeeper, a legendary goalkeeper. So I think
yeah.
French will be superior. And in the semi-finals, it's one of the hardest predictions I've made. But I think looking at
I think
France
that's
right,
why I left it to you, this group, eh?
yeah, yeah. So looking at France right now, I think they will be quite strong for Argentina. I think it's like the repeat of what happened in last World Cup. Argentina met France in, I think, a round of 16 or quarterfinals. I'm not sure, but
Mm.
French were quite superior. And at the time, Kante was running the show, but now he's not there. But I think the French team is quite superior. So
Yeah.
France will go to the final from this side to meet Brazil. And Aniket, so what do you think? Who will win the World Cup?
It's a difficult. It's. Well, I'm not. I don't know, man. To be honest, to predict the winner from France and Brazil, it's a difficult task. But this time, I would choose Brazil. Uh, yeah, I would choose Brazil. I was just thinking, what if Benzema was fit and he was playing for France in this World Cup? It would have had a hell lot of difference in the French camp. If Benzema would have been fit and playing, I would have
But
said that.
but there are talks that he has recovered from his injury, and the manager Deschamps, he mentioned that there is a possibility that they can bring Benzema back. So there is a
So if that
possibility
is the
that
case, then France would win. If that is not the case, I think Brazil would win.
I
What are
so
your thoughts? What are
in
your
my
thoughts?
opinion, Brazil will win the World Cup, because
Okay.
they're way too strong, man. They're way too strong. If Neymar is playing, in Brazil,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
Neymar plays for the national team, he is something else.
True.
Something else.
Hmm.
It's a
Hmm.
manifestation of a perfection. When you talk about football, he's a brilliant footballer, but when he puts on that number 10 Neymar jersey with the captain's armband, uh, or I don't know if Thiago Silva is captain. I don't know, but I think Neymar is supposed to be captain, right? But
Hmm.
anyway, I think Brazil should be the winners. But when you talk about emotionality, Aniket, emotionally, I would want Argentina to qualify to beat France, and then go in the World Cup final. And their biggest rivals, Brazil, it would be an amazing game. And what an ending, for Messi's
Hmm.
career. Of course this is his last World Cup, as he's already mentioned. And what a
Yeah.
brilliant ending to his majestic career, to win a World Cup against his I mean, against the rivals of his country, against his best friend Neymar. What a story! What a story!
I
But
think he's just lacking one trophy in his cabinet, and that is the World
yeah,
Cup.
that is the World Cup. Exactly. So if that happens, and the belief that they can win, what they
Mm.
did in Copa America last year against Brazil in Brazil, I think they have that belief. So
Yeah.
it would be a perfect stage to just in front of 90,000 people to win it for his country. Would be amazing. Would stop all the murmurings that he is not the best. He is the best ever, and that will
Yeah.
prove, that will stamp on it.
Yeah.
Emotionally speaking, I believe Argentina and Portugal could be an interesting final as well. Messi versus Ronaldo, last World Cups for both of
Both
them.
legends playing
Yeah,
last World
both.
Cup, and
Yeah.
well, to be honest, I am a little bit biased for Messi. But if I see Messi and Ronaldo playing in World Cup finals, I would be happy for any one of them to win. To be honest,
No, for me, it's
that
Messi
happens.
has to win. If that
Well,
happens in the final,
yeah,
I
I
cannot
understand
say.
your bias, but if Argentina and Portugal meet, well, according to our predictions, they are meeting in for the third place. So
Yeah. So it would be an interesting game as well. Yeah, Messi versus
exactly,
Ronaldo. The race for bronze medal, as if
yeah.
it matters. But yeah. But anyway, it was really interesting. The World Cup is looking to be interesting. So we'll come back next weekend. After the preview of and the review of all the games, which will happen before the next weekend and which will happen after the next weekend.
Hmm.
So stay tuned. If you're listening to us on audio medium, we are available on Spotify, Google Podcast, Amazon Podcast or Amazon Music. Sorry. Apple Podcast and Ghana if you're listening from India, and if you're watching us, we are of course available on YouTube. Please subscribe to our content, our channel, like our content, share, subscribe, and comment. You can also just comment your predictions, what you think, who will win, and if you want us to cover anything else, any specific match, just let us know and we will do that. Aniket,
Perfect.
any last words from you?
The last words from me would be a little bit different this year. Sorry, this time. The World Cup is going on. So many surprises. Let's just see what happens through the surprises. Let's just live the surprises. And till then, keep listening, keep watching, keep liking, comment, share, subscribe. Share it with your friends and family. Uh, if you share it, it would be a lot of support for us as well. So just keep sharing, keep liking the content we make. Thank you very much.
Forza Barça.
Forza Barça. Bye bye.